Bangkok, Andrew, tell us a bit about him as a horse. What's he like to train?
Bangkok's a fabulous horse to train. He's a beautiful looking horse, very athletic. He was a little bit, last year, he had a tendency to get a little bit keen and a little bit on his nerves, but Maddie O'Meara rides him every day, has done a fantastic job this year getting him to settle and relax, and he's a joy to watch out on the gallops. I mean, he really, is the ultimate athlete. His sort of action is fantastic, and he's always sort of got a bonny horse with a spring in his step, and he's a pleasure to watch every morning.
And looking ahead to the Investec Derby, there are lots of different trials you can run in. He obviously ran very successfully in the Sanddown trial recently. What do you make of his win?
Yeah, I was pleased. I mean, more relieved than anything else, to be honest, because he'd been incredibly impressive in a maiden first time out this year in a race that's worked out extremely well. He beat a very useful horse. They were 9 lengths back to the third horse. There'd been winners come out of the race already. So we knew, and the time was good, we knew we had a decent horse, but obviously going into a classic trial as even money favourite, the expectation is right up there. So it was a little bit more of a relief. I thought he was impressive, but it was more a sense of relief. And I think he can improve again on that, and particularly over a little bit further.
And looking ahead to the Investec Derby, obviously he did pull a bit hard that day. Is there anything you can do preparation-wise? Or
No, I don't think he is what he is. I mean, it's probably the only thing that would worry me. He got a little bit warm before the race between his hind legs, sweating between his hind legs. But there's very little that we can do about that. I think he'll have no problem settling in the race, because at Sanddown, as soon as he got cover, he dropped the bit, which is the most important thing. And I'm not too concerned about that. And we might just go and have a look, let him go and have a look at the track at the Breakfast of the Stars, and so he's just a little bit more familiar with the paddock, etc.
Derby Day, Investec Derby Day is very unique. How do you think he'll handle the sort of buzz and excitement of the day?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I'm hoping that he's had a little bit of racing now, and third start of this year, that we should be able to keep him nice and relaxed. And yeah, obviously it's a big question mark, but that just adds to the test that the race provides. I think if they can't handle the preliminaries, they're not worthy of winning a derby.
And there are lots of different routes that you can take to the Investec Derby. Why was Sanddown the sort of route that you took? Was it just timing? It
was timing more than anything. I mean, the Dante's probably the most significant Derby trial, apart from the Guineas, obviously, but he wasn't in the Guineas, and I was just concerned that the Dante was going to run quite close to the Derby. So by running at Sanddown, if something had gone wrong, we still had time to run back at Lingfield if we'd wanted to, or wait for York. But no, just the timing was right. And anyway, he's done his bit. He's won his trial, and he deserves to be in the race.
And ground conditions, what do you think his optimum would be?
I think he'd handle anything apart from major extremes of either end of the scale. So I'm pretty confident he'd handle anything.
And you've won the Oaks. What would it be like to win the Investec Derby?
Well, the Investec Derby is the race that, I think anyone holding a trainer's licence aspires to win. It's a special race with a great history, and I think it would mean everything.
And your family history to the race as well?
Yeah, well, my father was lucky enough to win it, but that was a long time ago now. It was almost 50 years ago, and obviously Kieras has housed 7 or 8 Derby winners, and it would be very fulfilling to keep that tradition going.
And the prospect of King Power having a Investec Derby runner, what does that mean to them as well?
Well, I think obviously they're aware of the magnitude of the race and the importance of the race, so it would mean a lot to them. Obviously, relatively new operation. It would be a great one to score with in your third year. But look, it's an incredibly tough race to win. I just be praying we get there in one piece, and if we do, we'll have a chance.
So you've had horses run in the Investec Derby before. Would this be your best chance you've had yet?
I would say, yeah. We had Bonfire won at Dante, went into the Derby, but he had Camelot to beat, and we were always concerned that the track wouldn't suit him, which proved to be the case. And I've had a couple of other runners who were probably just not quite good enough. I mean, Elm Park had run well in the Dante behind Golden Horn, but he was a doubtful stayer, and as it proved on the day, he didn't stay. But no, I think this horse has got ticks a lot of boxes. So I'd be far more confident than I have been in the past that we go there with a fighting chance.